Hey, you are listening to The Brown Perspective. This is RO and I'm here with Eduardo. Hey, Eduardo, what is up?
Hola, 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 hola.
How much did you pitch in to help Elon Musk buy Twitter?
Woo! I had to sell all my Tesla stock
Yeah,
in order for him to make his dream come true.
yeah. You had five on it?
Mis 5 centavitos.
5 bill, yeah. Five,
Actually,
five.
I was like, keep your hands out of my Twitter, Elon.
This is so crazy because now, just the irony of this that for the longest, while social media companies were censoring all of the progressives were saying that they're private companies and they get to do whatever they want. And now that Elon Musk is buying it and he's hinting that he's going to not censor as much, all of a sudden this is a threat and something needs to be done about it because one man controls it. What happened to the argument that these are private companies and they get to do whatever they want? So what were your thoughts when you saw the headlines that Musk was at first attempting to buy Twitter, and then eventually that he was able to, or at least that he's in the process of acquiring it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just disbelief, right? Like, why would he want to spend so much money to buy Twitter? At the same time, I do think that given how popular Twitter is and the type of reach that not only he but others have on that platform, how it can also be used to, promote his message, his ideas, his companies, right? So in some ways, I can it is a brilliant way to be able to contribute and try to control the narrative that he wants to put out there about himself, about his work, and much is the same way that other billionaires like Bezos, who bought the Washington Post, your the more conservative person, was it Murdoch?
Rupert Murdoch with Fox News.
There you go, right? So this is, I think it's if and then on second thought, it kind of falls in the tradition of rich people trying to control the narrative to advance their interest.
Yeah, a lot of people are championing him as fighting for freedom of speech. I don't know if it's a good business deal. He's backing it by using his Tesla stock. I think Tesla is massively inflated. I think if we have a recession, I think Tesla is probably going to lose a lot of its value. And then also Twitter, I haven't checked recently whether or not how profitable they are, but he's paying a lot for it as well. The one thing that it does help is that it helps his brand, and at this point, Elon Musk is a brand. He is the wealthiest person on the planet, but he also has the huge following on Twitter. He's a whole media personality. He's just at this point he's massively famous. One tweet from him can move the entire crypto market. I don't know about the regular stock market, but definitely in crypto he's very influential.
More the regular market, because as soon as he made this announcement, and I guess because he had to sell a bunch of Tesla stock, that impacted Tesla stock.
Yeah, but I
And
mean that's not when I was saying that he can move markets with a tweet. I'm not saying like a tweet about a business deal. I'm saying a tweet like something about Baby Doge or Dogecoin or something like that. But yeah, I get your point. Yes, he's also very influential because again Tesla is so highly valued. But again, people are championing him as this savior that's gonna come in and remove what they perceive to be Twitter suppressing a lot of accounts, like conservative accounts, people that were being censored for things that the conservatives didn't agree with. But I think what I find is that, at least what I find disappointing, is that yes, he has hinted that he's going to open up Twitter and it's not going to censor as much, which is great because I don't like the censoring. I don't like it when comedians are getting censored. I don't like it when certain people on Twitter are not able to joke around, or if maybe you offended somebody, all of a sudden you get canceled or you get demonetized. But see, he's not saying anything about social media or even payment processing sites like PayPal or Patreon demonetizing anti-war activists. He's not talking about war propaganda. He's focusing too much on the on the cultural wars, and he's making it his task to say, I'm fighting against the woke mob, all these liberals that want you to say their pronouns. Like, that's what he's focusing on, and that's not championing freedom of speech. Because if he's just going to allow all these conservatives to get on Twitter and start making fun of the what they call the woke liberal left that wants to use their own pronouns, if that's all he's going to do, and he's still going to not let RT have a voice in Twitter, or not let anti-war activists and things like that, then he's not really a champion for freedom of speech. He had a personal agenda that he didn't like the more liberal, progressive wing of the Democratic Party, and then he's going after them.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think it will be an opportunity to try to hold him accountable for what he is supporting and not supporting on the platform. And I know that the intent is to make it private again, so that he has a little bit more control and autonomy to do what it is that he wants. Obviously, ultimately, people are gonna decide based on the changes that he makes. They'll decide to maybe not engage with Twitter anymore and go to whatever the next platform is, whether it's a Truth Network or TikTok or what have you.
TikTok or Facebook. If Democrats or liberals are going to flee from Twitter, then those would probably be the other platforms that they go to. But it's still yet to be determined if the government or some other coalition of agencies are going to find a way to block this deal. It ultimately really depends on how much they truly see Elon Musk as a threat to the censoring that has been going on. Because we did get to a point where censorship we've gotten to a point where censorship has become very normalized, where people are now demanding it, regardless, like somebody gets offended or somebody sees a perceived threat online and they want that account to be censored. I don't think that's the right direction that we should be going in. So if he is coming in and he's going to open it up across the board, then there's a lot of powerful interests that may not want that. Not teenagers that are complaining about somebody not using their pronouns. Which, by the way, I don't speak about the left in a derogatory sense. I mean, I agree with them if they want to be referred to as specifically, and they want us to use pronouns, then I'm perfectly fine referring to them like that. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just more commenting on how the conservatives characterize that, and they use that as the boogeyman to scare everybody else, to say, look at what the left is doing. But apart from that, there are some really powerful interests, like the military-industrial complex, that does not want to see specific journalists out there on Twitter debunking like lies about Ukraine or exposing government secrets, right? Like, you saw what happened to Julian Assange. So let's see if Elon Musk actually stands up for freedom of speech, as he says he does, and he supports Julian Assange, because that's like the biggest, one of the biggest crackdown on journalism in the last 10 years is the crackdown on Julian Assange. But, again, if he really cares for it, he's going to go into that, but he's going to face some stiff resistance. But if all he wants to do is pretend like he's fighting for it, and he's going to go and attack the LGBT community because they want to be referred as they instead of he or she, then he's full of BS, and he's just doing it because he has his own personal agenda.
I agree, and I think I don't see a reason for this deal not to be approved, because, I mean, he doesn't own any other media outlet and things like that, so I don't think there's an issue of consolidation, improper consolidation, or anti-competitive
Mm-hmm.
type of principle that will get violated. Um,
Pero mira, you see here, Musk's 44 billion buyout of Twitter faces U.S. antitrust review.
hmm,
There's
I
ways
wonder
that
why though.
if you get really creative, they can get really creative and claim that this is a threat to democracy or that this is going to put a lot of people in danger because of. They'll find a way to mischaracterize it. Like legally, there's so many different ways that you can approach this to try to come up with a legal excuse to block it. It really depends on who the players are that are trying to do it and how much money they have. So we'll see. I mean, Elon does have a lot of money, so he may be able to fight it. I'm not saying that it would be easy, but I think they might be get creative and come up with a few avenues that they can try to pursue to see if any of them actually lead to slowing this down or preventing it entirely.
And you think he's just gonna use Twitter to promote um, his cryptocurrency and NFTs and all the other good stuff that he's involved with?
I don't know if because he already has a pretty big platform. He has a huge following. I mean, what does he gain by owning it? It's not like if he's saying that he's going to promote freedom of speech, then that it helps his brand in the fact that he owns it and he's getting all this news right now. But in terms of his own personal account, he already has a ton of followers. He already gets to tweet whatever he wants. It's not like people were censoring him before that. I think he made it. I think if you are going to believe that he really is fighting for freedom of speech, then I think the decision that tilted him towards the direction of acquiring Twitter is when the account of a satirical website was banned, something the B, and they posted a satirical article, and because of that, Twitter banned them, and I think Elon Musk got involved in that, and that I think that was the last thing before you would think before he went down the path of trying to buy it. But ultimately, just be careful about the heroes that you choose, right? So ultimately, one person controlling such a big company, it's a lot of influence. Let's just hope that he does it to do something right. I don't really know what his motivation is. It's hard to say. It seems like he has his hands in a lot of different things: SpaceX, Tesla, now Twitter. At the end of the day, he could just be a con man that's trying to build his reputation by pretending to care for people. All the while, he's making all this money, right? He's buying Bitcoin, but at the same time, he's promoting Dogecoin. So, does he care about decentralized money? Does he care about Bitcoin giving people uh, the power to control their own money again? Or is he just doing it for the publicity, because it certainly doesn't align with that when he turns around and starts promoting Dogecoin, like a coin that is highly centralized. It has a huge inflation and it's a joke, right? So this guy is very mercurial. You don't really know what to expect of him, so I don't expect much. I just go along with it and see what happens.
Hey,
Sure.
don't speak about like that about Tony Stark.
Yeah, right. Certainly wouldn't buy Dogecoin just because he's shilling it. So don't make any financial decisions based on Elon Musk tweets. He's entertaining. I'll give him that much. And if he's going to go and fight a whole bunch of other corporate wealthy establishment, then let the wealthy class fight themselves. A lot of the times, that's how the common person gets rights, because all of a sudden a wealthy individual decided that it was in their interest to pursue these rights. Just like the founding fathers, huh? A whole bunch of wealthy white men wanted to protect all their rights from a whole bunch of wealthy people in England. So they figured, well, let's come up with this document that says everyone's created equal, so we can protect all of our interests, but let's not give it to any white man that doesn't own land. Let's not give it to any slaves. Let's not give it to women. So, I mean, that's a very cynical take, but again, it was wealthy people fighting for their rights, and then as a result of the amendments, then those rights were distributed more evenly amongst the general population. But it started out as wealthy people fighting other wealthy people. So sometimes good things come of that.
Yeah, Very true. And some bad things come out of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to focus on the good things, but anyway, any other thoughts on this before we wrap it up?
Well, yeah, I think for me it's just interesting how he's positioning himself, right? Because I mean, part of the things that are likable about Elon Musk is, the fact that he made Tesla the company that it is today. And I think even its stock, if the stock goes down or the value goes down, I think that the company is here to stay, right? And it proved the model. The technology is getting better. I think the fact that he's using technology from Tesla, from his SpaceX, trying to go to Mars and do all these things. I think it's interesting that he's positioning himself on a lot of the issues that are so critical
But
to,
don't you think that's part of his gimmick? I mean, come on, you really think that these voyages to Mars, you really think colonizing Mars? We can't even desalinate water effectively here. You think we're actually going to colonize Mars? And Tesla is going to face stiff competition from all these other car companies once because they've already got it into the electric market. So at the end of the day, Tesla's just a car company. There's no reason why it should be valued the way that it is, right? So the guy has done a really good job at selling his vision and at getting people
yeah.
to believe it. But at the end of the day, it's like a lot of it is hype. And what happens when
Yeah.
the
And now
hype
he's going to
ends?
have one of the biggest hype machines under his control, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, we'll see what he does with it. I mean, what's he going to hype with Twitter that he can't already hype? Right? Is he gonna start censoring Toyota and other competition? Right? So it's hard to tell, but definitely this helps. This helps his persona. This helps his celebrity status. So something to keep an eye on and follow.
I think if he has some money left over and he wants to buy the Brown perspective, I'm happy to negotiate with him.
Yeah, yeah, definitely waiting for that call from Elon. All right. If you all out there enjoy our content, make sure to check us out. We are Brown Perspective. Estamos on Facebook, Instagram. We're on Twitter, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
And Twitter.
I,
Nos
I
vemos.
do I do have to say that I do hope that they implement the edit button on Twitter
Yeah.
because that's annoying when you make a mistake and then you have to delete the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And integrate into the Bitcoin Lightning network so that you can get rid of all these bots. There's so many bots on Twitter. Sometimes you see a post from someone that you like, and it's like you just go to read the comments, and it's just bot after bot after bot. It's crazy. So maybe he'll do something to try to fix it in that regard, even if he doesn't really do anything for the censorship. Pero ya
come on,
veremos.
Elon, get to work.
All right. So again, make sure to check us out. We are Brown Perspective. Nos vemos.
Ciao.